It's very important to understand that a FISA warrant can only be issued against an American citizen if they are actively involved in espionage for a foreign power against the United States. How ironic that it is the information regarding the misuse of FISA warrants that Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein has been stonewalling about. How ironic that the government refuses to hand over in discovery in the Paul Manafort trial any evidence regarding his being subject to a FISA warrant. How ironic that the government has now essentially released a document which demonstrates that their entire justification for a FISA warrant against Carter Page, a man who doesn't know much about headgear, was based on their own phony dossier. Wait a minute. FBI Director James Comey told us that the FISA warrant was based on a broad mosaic of information. The documents produced by the government today show that that is a lie. In fact, extraordinarily, for a 400-page document today, almost 300 pages are completely and totally redacted. That means blacked out. They're useless. They tell us nothing. And then you have media outlets like Vox trying to go out there with the establishment spin. The FBI established surveillance of Carter Page because they believe the Russians were seeking to recruit him. No, Carter Page was subject to a FISA warrant because the government created a false narrative to make it appear that he was being recruited by the Russians, thus the use of FISA warrants for political purposes. That's why the current scandal is a much greater scandal than Watergate. You see, in Watergate, private individuals affiliated with President Nixon's campaign broke into the Watergate complex of the Democratic National Committee and placed bugs that didn't really work very well. Also, private citizens affiliated with the president's campaign infiltrated the campaigns of two of President Nixon's opponents, Senator Hubert Humphrey and Senator George McGovern. What we have here is far more egregious. It is the willful use of the power and the authority and the extraordinary technological capability of the government itself to hijack the 2016 election, to rig the election against Donald Trump, and, as Peter Strzok so eloquently put it, to create an insurance policy in case Trump won. Now we know why Peter Strzok went to the FISA judge, an improper contact that is memorialized in documents that were finally obtained by Devin Nunes, the hard-charging and courageous chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, that shows that Strzok was trying to make sure that the phony FISA warrant request would be honored by the judge. That judge, when he realized he'd been had, when he realized he'd been lied to, recused himself, and a new judge took his place. Why we have not been told the entire story is because it underpins the fact that the Obama Justice Department and the Obama FBI were caught in this stunning abuse of power. That's why it's important to understand that the entire Russian collusion delusion is an attempt to distract from this underlying crime. The entire fabricated narrative of Russian collusion is meant to distract from the fact that Bill and Hillary are in bed with the Russians, that the Podesta brothers are profiting from their business associations with the oligarchs around Vladimir Putin, that Bill and Hillary have taken $145 million from the Russian energy company at the precise time that they are seeking to obtain control of 20% of America's uranium reserves. what I've called the largest single treasonous financial crime in American history. And therefore, the phony Russophobia, oh, look over there, Donald Trump's in bed with the Russians, is meant as a distraction from the fact that the Obama administration was rigging the election through the use of phony spying and FISA warrants, and it was Bill and Hillary who were compromised. That's what's so amazing about this video that we will show you in the next segment. Hillary Clinton is saying that Donald Trump is compromised based on his very public meeting. The irony of this smacks you in the face. It's Hillary Clinton who is compromised. Compromised in the Uranium One deal, compromised in the phony reset, and the Mueller investigation, which we're going to break down for you in the next segment, is the further continuation of this phony Russian collusion meme, a public distraction. Now, the indictment of 13 Russians, followed by the indictment of 17 Russians, intelligence agencies. This is the kabuki theater of the DOJ, knowing that neither one of these cases were supposed to go to trial. When the 13 Russians accused of hacking into social media went to trial, suddenly Mr. Mueller was not in such a hurry to prove their crimes. Mueller and Rosenstein clearly understand that the Russian spies are not showing up for trial, and therefore their fake narrative that the DNC was hacked by Russia is today a formal accusation, a charge in a very detailed and very well-written indictment. But in our system, an indictment is exactly that. It is not a conviction. Why mainstream media talking heads like Chris Cuomo pretend they don't know that IT counterintelligence experts like Bill Binney and Ray McGovern have pointed out the overwhelming forensic evidence that tends to disprove this notion of Russian hacking, asking me last week when I appeared on CNN, where did you see this? Where did you hear this? Chris, I read it in The Nation magazine. Binney and McGovern are recognized experts in their field, and the download times of the material that was allegedly hacked point not to a hacking, but a download to a portable device where the material was spirited out the back door. We're going to be taking your calls later in the program. Also, Michael Caputo, one of the many victims of the Mueller witch hunt, will be joining us. We will be right back.
Hey guys, my name is Savannah Hernandez, and if you're always on the go like me, then you're not always tied to your computer or TV. So we just released our free InfoWars official app. The InfoWars official app includes all of our live broadcasts like War Room with Owen Schroyer, Real News with David Knight, and the holy grail of podcasts and radio, The Alex Jones Show. And the best part about the InfoWars official app is that every single time we go live, you get notifications so that you never miss a beat. The InfoWars official app integrates some of the most up-to-date news stories, reports, and specials from the InfoWarsStore.com. So whether you're in the car or on a run, this app makes it easy to keep the InfoWar right in your pocket. So what are you waiting for? Download the InfoWar official app for tomorrow's news today for free from the Apple Store or in Google Play.